In a faraway place in a town called Kai was a dark forest that no one dared go. The forest was not haunted, bewitched, or cursed, but it was filled with shadows, and not just any shadows. The Vashta Nerada. The Vashta Nerada are tiny, carnivorous creatures that are hatched in the trees. They are so small they cannot be seen individually, except sometimes as tiny specks of dust floating in the sunlight. But the forest of Kai had an unfortunate infestation. The forest was so full of them, in fact, that it was impossible to tell which shadows were real and which were the swarms of the Vashta Nerada. Animals had to be careful where they tread. If they got caught in a swarm, the Vashta Nerada would hop on them like fleas and disguise themselves by taking the shape of the creature's shadow. Everyone in Kai knew better than to let an animal with two shadows into their home. And once it had two shadows, it was only a matter of time until the Vashta Nerada got hungry. So it was that the people of Kai grew afraid of the dark. To traveling merchants, the townspeople seemed primitive in their beliefs. Not to mention, the neighboring towns had advanced far beyond Kai, for they had mined their forests for all types of wood and lumber, for healing plants, for foods and metals and gems that lay below the surface. But the people of Kai used only brick, mud, and stone. No wood could be found in any household in Kai. One day, a wealthy merchant arrived in Kai, for he had heard rumors that their forest contained all manner of exotic and rare gems, flowers, and truffles. These treasures would be extremely valuable now that all the other forests had been stripped of their resources, enough to last him a lifetime. The townspeople warned that if he entered the forest, he would be eaten, but he scoffed at them for believing in children's bedtime stories. He searched far and wide for a companion in his journey, offering riches beyond imagination, but the people of Kai knew better than to go with him. Eventually, he found a young outcast who had nothing to his name and no family to speak of. He had grown skeptical of the town's stories and agreed to go with him. The outcast and the merchant left while the sun was out. At first, the merchant's path was fruitful. He collected bags and bags of treasures, journeying deeper and deeper into the heart of the forest. Soon, the two found themselves in a clearing as the woods grew dark around them. The merchant said that, since it was getting late, they had best return in the morning. But the outcast knew they had only been walking for a few hours. Overhead, through the branches, he saw the sun was still shining, but around them, in every direction, was darkness. A blue gem glinted just beyond the clearing, and the merchant asked the outcast to fetch it before they returned. But the young man was paralyzed with fear. The merchant laughed at the simple villager. "There is no need to be afraid of the dark," he said. He reached his hand into the darkness and placed the gem into his pocket with a grin. But as he stepped forward, the outcast stepped back, for this man was now standing with two shadows. The merchant's grin faded, and his face contorted in pain. The outcast, without thinking, threw down the bags of riches and ran through the forest. He looked back only once, and thought he could make out the outline of the merchant's large frame. But then, it was gone. Now, when travelers come to inspect the forest, the people of Kai will not stand in their way, but they will send them to the old man at the edge of town, left alive to tell the story of the Vashta Nerada, the man with two shadows, afraid of the dark.
I think I made a mistake. Maybe I should just go back to the dorm.
Vamps are real. They own Morganville.
But you're safe with us.